Good morning, I'm Adam Sexton. Thank you for joining us on this Labor Day weekend. And given the nature of the holiday, we do want to focus on one labor issue in particular. The strain of workforce shortages are being felt across various economic sectors and in government as well. But that difficulty is particularly acute among frontline first responders right now in New Hampshire, and there are specific reasons why. Here to discuss this morning is Frank Campo, the president of the New Hampshire Troopers Association and a sergeant with State Police. Sergeant, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So set the scene for us. How far off is State Police right now from having a full complement of troopers?
Well, currently we are at 69 vacancies. We have 3 more retirements coming up within the next couple of weeks, so that will take us up to 72 vacancies, which is going to put us over a 20% vacancy rate.
Right. And just for context, that's not normal, is it?
That's not normal. I mean, I would say normal would be anywhere around 3 to 5%. This is unprecedented and unheard of. I've been in law enforcement for over 20 years, and this is something we haven't seen before.
There are a lot of factors playing into this, but of course there are some special circumstances when it comes to first responders. About a decade ago, of course, the legislature, in the face of a massive budget shortfall, made changes to the retirement system that specifically affected a group of individuals who were hired just before that, right? They'd been there with promises on one end for retirement, and then those changed. So a decade later, what is happening for those troopers who were in on that one plan and then had it changed on them?
Sure. Well, to go back, a little bit of an explanation on that. So there were sweeping changes made in 2011 to the retirement system, and there were folks hired after 2011. They knew what they were getting into. There were folks that had 10 years in the retirement system at 2012, and their benefits really weren't touched. But there was a group in the middle, we call them the middle group, that were hired between 2002 and 2011, whose retirement benefits were greatly slashed, and we're feeling the effects of that. Today we are now seeing these people are now our senior leaders in the fire departments, police departments, and in corrections, and we're seeing them leave at unprecedented rates because they're simply saying it's not worth it to stick around. The pension benefit isn't worth it. In the past, the pension is something that's kept people here, and that's certainly changed.
And when you lose those people, this isn't like the guy who's been there for 6 months is leaving. This is, your senior guys.
Right, absolutely. Years of experience and institutional knowledge is just walking out the door, and that's, not easily replaced. You can bring somebody in, but they're not going to be able to replace those, dozen years of knowledge.
When this leadership level, when they're leaving, where are they going to? Are we seeing different agencies in particular, or private sector? Sure,
you're seeing both. A lot of people are leaving for the private sector, which is sometimes paying double what we're making now. They get the benefit of working from home. We have some folks that want to stay in law enforcement, and we're seeing them go to federal agencies that quite frankly pay higher and have better benefits.
So it's really a competitive issue right now. It's
Absolutely.
just hard to keep those guys in the door.
Is.
This isn't a cheap fix, though. I think that, the proposal that got set aside this last budget process was $50 million over 2 years. How long would it take to fill that gap? Is it really a decade worth of that money just to fix what has been done?
Yep. Well, last session, the House came up with the fix for this issue. And over 10 years, I believe the cost was going to be about $300 million. And the House was prepared, and they did pass this fix. It passed through the House very easily with 282 votes. Unfortunately, the Senate rejected it. And it was obviously very disappointing to those folks in the middle group there. We thought we had a fix. We thought there was some momentum. We thought there was a real willingness to get this done. It stopped there in the Senate. I hope it wasn't due to an unwillingness to fix the issue here. I think it probably just came down to money. Fortunately, at least the Senate has set aside a little bit of money, and they're doing a retirement study commission, and we're hopeful that some positive steps forward might come out of this commission.
When senators say to you, hey, this is a budget buster, how do you respond?
Well, it's difficult to respond. I mean, how do you put a price on public safety? And that's really what's what's the cost here.
You mentioned public safety. How close are we to seeing a real serious impact when you are down 20%?
Well, I think, it's difficult to see what the impact would be. It's hard to measure it because, our calls for service go up every single year. We answer every single call for service, without question. But, how can you, put a number on the the DWI that was not, not found because we don't have the troopers out there to do it. How do you put a number on, the aggressive driving and the impacts of that when there's no troopers out there to deter this type of behavior?
And on the flip side, forced overtime, there's a toll being taken on the existing workforce, right, just to make sure that that line is held.
Absolutely. I mean, our troopers are burning out. We're working, more hours than we ever have. If we're 20% down, the troopers' workload is going to be 20% greater. That's just, simply how it goes. And, our guys are, very professional and very dedicated to keeping New Hampshire one of the safest states in the country. But, you can only ask the troopers to sprint when the distance is unknown for so long. At some point, something's got to give here.
I remember in a prior discussion we had, you mentioned the idea that it's almost being treated more like a military deployment now, that this is something people might do like serving in the Army for 7 or 8 years, and really after that time period, you've worked so hard, you can't make it to 20.
That's pretty much a trend that we're starting to see as well. We have this type of job as a calling. I would say every trooper probably wanted to be a trooper, from the time that they were a little kid. And, they come on, they get hired, and, they do the police thing for 4 or 5 years, and they say to themselves, I don't know if I can do this for another 20, 25 years. The benefit isn't there, the pay isn't there. I got to look out for my family now. I did it. I did the police thing. Now I got to move on and find better opportunities for myself.
I do want to circle back. Obviously, the state did pass a pay raise of 10% across the board for state employees. Will that help with recruitment and retention?
I think it should help with recruitment for sure. Anytime you can offer more money, you should be able to attract more talent than you currently are. As far as retention, I don't know how helpful that's going to be because, over the last 7 years, the troopers have received next to nothing in pay raises. So this, raise that we got in July, while substantial, doesn't really close the cost of living gap over the last, the last 7 years. And additionally, with receiving, very little pay raises over those times, the troopers have really felt undervalued and unappreciated by the governor's office. And believe me, that's taken its toll as well.
Mm-hmm. And that idea of community support, that's something that I've heard is also a difficulty with recruitment and retention, because you said this is a calling, but if you have a group of people who feel like they're being besieged on all sides or not getting that support, whether it's from the community or elected officials, that makes it harder to keep them around too.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you turn on the news every night and you see something new about, these anti-police movements. Fortunately for us here in New Hampshire, I think we feel like we're supported by the citizens and by the community stakeholders. So, we do feel their support, and we should feel their support because we are one of the best trained and most professional law enforcement agencies in the country. So we feel very supported by our citizens here in New Hampshire.
From where you stand right now, what's the outlook? What is the future going to look like, given the various scenarios of what could happen here? No fix, a fix?
Yep. I mean, I think to do nothing and expect any different outcome is, not going to work. I think the fix is really pretty simple. Offer competitive wages and competitive benefits to the troopers, and, these vacancies will disappear.
All right. Sergeant Frank Campo, New Hampshire State Police, President of the New Hampshire Troopers Association, we thank you for joining us on Close Up.
Thank you.